Welcome to a pilot edition of what we hope will become a regular feature for ISL in the future. In this episode, we're going to be looking at the chaotic world of police statement taking. I'm joined with Pam, who is our host, Mirella, a professional interpreter from Manchester, Barhani, a professional interpreter from Leeds, and Jazz, a police officer with West Yorkshire Police.
So what have you done then when you've been left in the room on your own without the police officer being present, even though you've not been taking a statement? How have you dealt with that situation?
Well, I prefer to just keep quiet. At that moment I didn't say anything.
Okay.
But later on, when the police officer has come back, I spoke to him saying that the client was saying this and this.
Yeah.
By just explaining to the client first who am I and what I have to do.
Okay.
That's all really.
So you explained your role
to
the individual that was in the same room. Okay. And when you spoke to the police officer upon return, then what happened there?
Well, the police officer has said sorry at the very beginning, and just heard me what information that I have passed to him.
Okay.
And maybe privately he dealt with it, I don't know. But at that moment, he just said sorry for just left me along with the client.
With the client, okay. So Jazz, what is your official take on this topic?
So when it comes to interpreters being left alone with, obviously in Barhani's situation, it's an offender in the custody area, that shouldn't really happen on any occasion whatsoever.
Okay.
If the police officer or whoever from the police background are dealing with the individual, I understand there could be odd occasions where they've just forgotten to pick up something, a piece of paper or something, and yes, it will only take a split second to go get that. But realistically, they shouldn't be leaving you because you don't know the warning markers of the offender, and obviously you've been left in a room on your own with him. You have no idea what he's been detained for, the reasons why he's there, what background he's got. If you're ever in a situation like that, you are in a position to ask the officer if the offender has any warning markers. Had the officer have taken a lot longer than anticipated, you have got in a interview room within a police station, you have a black strip that runs across the room. It's sort of middle of the room, then you have one by your feet as well. So you can either kick it by your foot and it'll activate straight away and all the red lights will start blaring. That alarm is automatically connected to the custody area, and they know from a board which room it is, and within a matter of seconds somebody will be with you. But sometimes that can be too late, in that couple of seconds. You have no idea what's going to happen. The offender has been searched before they have been put into a cell, and obviously they shouldn't have anything on them when they come in interview. Simple things like a pen, they can use that as a weapon. You should not ever be left alone, ever. And you are able to express that to the officer, and they should also know that.
Okay. But there may be situations where it may be a victim or a witness that's coming to give a statement. Would they be searched?
No, rightly or wrongly, we deal with victims and witnesses on a daily basis, and interpreters are required, and as you're both probably aware, you just put in a room with them. Again, if it's a room that you've got access to take the statement, you will have the panic alarms. They are in all the rooms that members of the public use. So if you are left alone, although you should never be left alone, you can activate those alarms. Also, if for whatever reason you think that the officer might be leaving you for a couple of seconds, maybe just to go print off some statement papers, you can say, is there any warning markers that I need to be aware of, and they should tell you. But again, they should never ever leave you alone with them. They are not searched out, witnesses and victims. Not everybody who enters the police station is searched. You are only searched if you go into the custody area.
Okay, so if the police if it looks as though the police constable is going to be leaving the interpreter in the interview room or the custody area on their own with an offender, witness or victim for longer, how should the interpreter deal with that?
It's quite simple, refuse to do it, because they shouldn't be putting you in that situation where you have even got to contemplate being left alone with whichever person you're dealing with. Just refuse to do it, say you're not doing it. And they should know that they shouldn't be doing that. It's in all police guidelines. A lot of old school police officers will do it because there was no written rule for us years ago, and I've done it because again we didn't have a written rule, but now we do, and that's gone on for a number of years also. So all police officers are aware, because sometimes if officers are leaving interpreters on their own to take the statements, the quality that's produced is not even good enough for court. It's not good enough to process in the file. It certainly can't be used as evidence in court, and then we have to do the whole procedure again, get another interpreter in and start from scratch.
Yeah, that is another topic that we will be following on in a short while. So thank you for that, Jazz and Barani, for that input.
So hopefully that's been very useful for you. We've covered a lot of ground, and I think with the importance of police statement taking, this is always going to be one of the areas that provides challenges for interpreters and the police alike. But knowing what to expect and what you should and should not be doing in these situations can often help you get it right first time. I'd like to thank Mirella, Bahani, Jazz and Pam, and hopefully we'll see you soon for another episode.